If you've ever taken the CELPIP test, you'll probably agree with me on this. Listening can be one of the trickiest sections. And no, it's not always because of your English fluency. More often, it's because of something else, distractions and lack of focus. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself drifting away while someone's speaking? Or struggling to listen and take notes at the same time? That's exactly what many CELPIP test takers experience, especially during Task 3, listening to information, Task 4, listening to a news item, and Task 6, listening to viewpoints. As a CELPIP trainer, I've seen this pattern over and over again. Students tell me, I understood the passage, but I just couldn't catch the right words or note down the key points. Sound familiar? Don't worry, there's a way to fix that. Let's talk about some practical strategies to improve your listening, not just for CELPIP, but for your everyday communication as well. Number 1. Train your focus, not just your ears. Listening is not passive. It's an active process. Try short listening exercises daily, like podcasts or news clips, and challenge yourself to summarize what you heard in 1 or 2 sentences. This trains your brain to listen with intent. Number 2. Practice predictive listening. In CELPIP, you can often predict what's coming next from the tone and context. Ask yourself while listening, what could be the next detail? What's the speaker's opinion here? This simple trick keeps you mentally alert. Number 3. Master the art of note-taking. Don't try to write full sentences. Focus on keywords, numbers, and transitions like however, on the other hand, or as a result. These words guide you to the main idea, and that's what CELPIP questions are built around. Number 4. Build concentration through short bursts. If you lose focus easily, train in small bursts, 5 to 7 minutes of active listening followed by a break. Gradually increase the duration until you can maintain full focus through the entire CELPIP recording. Number 5. Reflect after every practice. Once you finish a listening task, don't just check your score. Replay the clip and see why you missed certain answers. Was it speed, distraction, or a misunderstanding of vocabulary? This reflection turns practice into progress. Let's dive into the strategies for acing the listening module in CELPIP. Listening may seem tough, but with the right approach, you can master it with confidence. Step 1. Understand the listening module. Before you start practicing, you must first understand the test format. First, know the structure. The listening section has 6 parts, each testing a different type of listening skill. Second, know your timing. Each recording plays only once, and there's no replay option. Third, understand the task. Identify who's speaking, their relationship, and what issue or idea they're discussing. And last, recognize question types. You'll face questions about general meaning ideas, specific details, and inferences. That means reading between the lines. Let's understand these question types. General meaning questions. These questions test your ability to understand the overall idea or purpose of what you hear. They don't focus on small details. Instead, they check if you understood the main message or the speaker's intention. Tips: listen for the topic, tone, and purpose of the conversation. Ask yourself, what are they mainly talking about, or why is this conversation happening? Specific information questions. These test your ability to catch particular facts or details mentioned in the audio, such as names, dates, numbers, times, reasons, or actions. You must listen carefully and identify exact pieces of information without being distracted by similar-sounding options. Tips: focus on keywords like who, what, when, where, and how. Also, be aware of paraphrasing. The question and audio won't always use the same words. Inference questions. These questions test your ability to read between the lines, to understand what is implied but not directly stated. You'll need to interpret tone, emotion, attitude, or intention based on context clues. Tips: pay attention to how something is said, not just what is said. Listen for changes in tone or emotional words that reveal the speaker's real feelings. Step 2. Understanding the conversation. Here's what many test takers don't realize. The content audio and the question audio are played separately. You'll listen to the content audio first, about 1.5 to 3 minutes long, and only after that, you'll hear or see the questions. Each question plays once and moves forward automatically. You'll get 30 seconds per question, and you cannot go back or change previous answers. So, focus your attention right from the start. Parts 1 to 3, short conversations and information. Parts 1 to 3 are conversation-based. Part 1 includes 3 short conversations, each 1 to 1.5 minutes long, with 2 to 3 questions each. Parts 2 and 3 have 1 longer audio each, about 2 to 2.5 minutes long. You can either take notes or focus on listening carefully and answering directly. Both approaches can work. You must engage in smart listening techniques. 1. Preview and predict. Before you listen, ask, do the speakers know each other? Where are they talking? What tone or formality should I expect? 2. Identify main ideas. While listening, note, what's the main issue and its reason? What solutions are discussed? And did they agree or disagree? 3. Infer feelings. Pay attention to how the speaker feels, tone and emotion matter. 4. Useful skills. Recognize paraphrases. The question words will often differ from the audio. And if you're unsure, use the elimination method to remove unlikely options. Oh, and remember, never leave a question blank, as there is no negative scoring for wrong answers. Parts 4 to 6. Long listening and video task. Now, from Part 4 onward, the format changes slightly. Here's what you need to know. All questions are sentence completion type. You can read all the questions and options only after the audio is played. All questions appear on one screen, and you can answer them in any order. Part 5 is unique. It's a video task with 3 speakers discussing a common topic. They share opinions, agree or disagree on each other's suggestions, and reach a conclusion. Here, your note-taking format should capture each speaker's viewpoint and the final outcome. Let's see the smart listening techniques for Parts 4 to 6. Parts 4, listening to a news item. The goal here is to understand a formal, factual piece of information, usually a news report, public announcement, or informational talk. This part checks how well you can identify the facts, events, causes, effects, and key figures. Read the instructions shown before the audio starts. Understand the situation and topic of the audio. Listen for key facts. Focus on who, what, when, where, and why. Numbers, percentages, and names often appear in this part. Write them down quickly. Track sequence of events. News audios often follow a chronological order. Note down the order of incidents. It helps in questions about cause and effect. Identify the reporter's tone. Even though it's factual, tone clues help you identify whether the report is positive, neutral, or serious. Use a split note strategy. Divide your note space into 2 columns. Use the left side for main event or idea, and the right side for taking details such as numbers, reasons, reactions, outcomes, and so. Part 5, listening to a discussion, video task. The goal is to understand viewpoints and group dynamics among 3 speakers discussing a topic. You'll need to identify who said what, agreements and disagreements, and the final conclusions. Smart techniques for this part. Preview each speaker's role. Before the video starts, read the topic carefully. Identify that each speaker may represent a different opinion or standpoint. Note speakers' names or initials. For instance, use M1, M2, and W for man 1, man 2, and woman to track who said what. Example, M1, supports recycling, M2, too costly, W, moderate view. Listen for agreement and contrast markers. Words like I agree, that's true, however, I don't think so, on the other hand signal changes in opinion. Observe body language and tone. Since this is a video, facial expressions and gestures give strong clues about attitude and opinion. Also note down the dresses of the speakers. Questions may be asked based on their dresses, like how did the man in a blue shirt respond to the car wash idea? Focus on the conclusion. Usually, the speakers end with a summary or resolution. Capture any common ground or final decision, as questions often refer to it. Part 6, listening to viewpoints. The goal here is to identify perspectives and reasoning in an opinion-based talk. You'll hear a person discussing controversial or analytical topics where reasoning and emotion blend. You will hear 3 to 5 different people mentioned in the audio. The SMART techniques are: preview for perspective. Before the audio starts, prepare your notes to take up as you listen. Understand the topic and the controversy in it. Listen for stance words. Listen to the people's names mentioned. Also, try getting their professions, their opinions, and the reasons for the viewpoints. Words like believe, suggest, argue, disagree, criticize, support, and emphasize help you recognize opinion strength and direction. Track transitions in logic. Words like because, since, however, therefore, in contrast, and consequently connect reasoning. Highlight cause and effect relationships in your notes. Identify emotional cues. Tone, pace, or emphasis can tell whether the speaker is confident, doubtful, or frustrated. Emotional tone often determines the correct inference answer. Summarize each viewpoint in one line. Example: Speaker A supports city expansion for economy. Speaker B concerned about the environment. Speaker C seeks balance between both. Example: 1. Running is an excellent exercise for people of all ages, however, it might not be suitable for people with conditions such as arthritis or knee injury. The word however is used when a contrasting idea is discussed about a topic. Other examples are although, though, on the flip side, nonetheless, on the contrary, and so on. Example 2. Running is an excellent exercise for people of all ages. Additionally, walking can also be done as it gives the same effect as running. The word additionally is used to introduce another idea. Other words such as furthermore, moreover, in addition to, and besides can also be used to introduce new ideas. Step 3. Taking effective notes. Now comes the million-dollar question: how do you take good notes? Keep the previous steps in mind and practice these techniques. Note down keywords about the topic. Watch for signpost words to identify discussion shifts. Include who said what and any agreements or conclusions. Use bullet points or abbreviations, not full sentences. Don't worry if you miss some details, focus on key ideas. Styles of note-taking. You can take notes in one of the 3 styles that we are about to discuss. Number 1. Linear note-taking method. This is the most common style of note-taking that we might have practiced since college days. Here, we will take the main ideas, verbs, and any other specific details one by one on the paper. Care should be taken not to scribble the notes all over the paper. Take it in order the information is given in the audio. This will help you identify the location of a particular answer to the questions. If you don't follow the order, you might feel lost with the information. This is ideal for Part 4. Number 2. Split method. In this method, you can make 2 tabular columns. On the left, write the main event or the ideas. On the right, one for taking the details such as dates, names, outcomes, reasons, numbers and so on, against each event or idea. This will give you the perspectives of each speaker or event. This is ideal for Part 4 and Part 6. Number 3. Zigzag pattern. This pattern is most commonly used for conversation-based audio such as Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 5. Here, you can make a table with columns respective to the number of speakers. For Parts 1 to 3, you can make 2 columns, and for Part 5, 3 columns. The format is this. Label the headings as man and woman for Part 1 to Part 3, and for Part 5, label as man 1, man 2, and woman, or woman 1, woman 2, and man. Now take notes under the column of the first speaker. Then take the notes of the second speaker, leaving the first line of second speaker blank. Again take the notes of the first speaker in the third line, leaving the second row blank in their column, and continue taking it. You will see a zigzag pattern all over. This will help you identify the flow of information, and you can easily locate the context of that exact part which you are looking for. Step 4. Give your best shot at answering. When it's time to answer, remember these golden tips. Understand the meaning of each question, not just the words. Compare your notes with the options. Watch for paraphrased questions and answer choices. Pay attention to auxiliary and causative verbs to catch the correct context. Use the elimination method if you're unsure. And most importantly, trust your instincts. Final thoughts. There's no one-size-fits-all method for CELPIP listening. These steps give you a strong foundation, but explore and refine what works best for you. Remember, every bit of focused practice takes you closer to your target score. I believe you must have had a deep insights into how to ace the CELPIP listening tasks. You can reach us at faculty@galaxytraining.in for more information on training resources. Want to practice with real test simulations? Sign up for our online mock drills and mock tests by enrolling with us. You'll get access to 10 full-length mock tests and 40+ practice drills covering all 4 modules. Upgrade anytime for faculty-led CELPIP training classes and personalized feedback. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep improving. All the best for your CELPIP journey.